Hello and welcome back. This is Don't Watch at Night, a spooky little podcast dedicated to Latin American and Spanish language horror. I'm your host, Valerie.
And I'm Veronica.
How are you doing, Ron? How's your weekend? Sorry, I had a hair on my face.
Okay,
Busy?
actually just woke up from like a 2-hour nap like 15 minutes ago.
That's good.
There's a net in here. Dang it. It's going to bug me.
I don't know how to... This is fine. Okay, anyway, I'm messing with my microphone again. It's always me perpetually messing with my microphone. Will, you taught this morning?
2 classes back to back this morning.
Are you feeling like soreness, or is your body pretty well conditioned for this?
No, I mean, I'm pretty well conditioned. I could be better conditioned, but I'm not sore.
Yeah, I would be broken.
Now, if I did the weights class, I would be sore because I haven't done weights in a while.
I would be broken if I had to do what you're doing. Well, I don't really have a whole lot to report. You know, in the time since we last recorded, Robert Redford passed away. I was on my way to work that morning, and I was at a stoplight, and I looked at my phone, and I saw it, and I was like, I was so upset. Just another great one goes before us. Like Meryl Streep says, one of the lions has passed. I did dig up, we're not going to necessarily go through it, but I did dig up for you guys, we'll link it for you guys, Collider.com article where they rank all of his great films, and there's stuff on there like Barefoot in the Park, The Way We Were.
I like that one.
I like Barefoot in the Park, The Last Castle, The Electric Horseman, just a lot of good with Spy Game, Sneakers is on there.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so there's just a lot of really good movies right up until the very end. I think one of his final performances, which is on this list, something about the Old Man and the Gun or something, maybe? The Old Man and the Gun came out in 2018, my bad. Like, wasn't even in it. He was in a Marvel Avengers movie, I thought.
Yeah, the Marvel guy.
The Marvel one came out in 2014, so 2018. The Old Man and the Gun. Yeah, I know, right?
The Marvel movie.
The Old Man and the Gun, which came out in 2018, and that one has Sissy Spacek in it as well. So yeah, check this list out. Lots of good stuff on there. Have yourself a Robert Redford day. There's been so much news in the media this week that it's like I don't even feel like we got to properly have that period of mourning over Robert Redford the way we did for like Gene Hackman and Val Kilmer, 2 other notable actors who've passed within like the past year. So give that list a look. Anything else, Ron? Anything else going on with you these days that you want to share?
I don't have time for anything else. Nope. I haven't even read. I haven't had time to read anything just for fun and enjoyment. Like Robert, yesterday, what day are we? I'm losing track of days. Sunday. Okay, so yesterday, Sunday, taught in the morning, came home, showered, and then we went to eat. And then he asked me if I wanted to stop at the bookstore, the Barnes & Noble that was right there. And I said no.
You're like, we don't have time.
No, it wasn't a time thing. It was just I know there's no point in buying the book because I won't have time to read it. Yeah. But I never, ever turned down going to the bookstore. And I said no.
Bookstore. For those of you listening, well, because Veronica already knows, because Veronica was part of the text thread this weekend, my fire was lit anew to open up an indie bookstore because there was like some article that I sent the family thread where it was just like indie bookstores are on the rise post-COVID. And so it's just, which is great. It's like wonderful that there's all these indie stores rising up right now and seeing success because we need those stores now more than ever. I told them, I was like, missed opportunity. We should have gone into family business and started a bookstore. There's still time.
There's a little independent bookstore here in San Antonio. They just moved locations to like Southtown, I want to say. Ghoulish books. And so they just sell like horror themed.
That's really cool. So where did they used to be?
They used to be like an office suite space, like in an industrial park type area. So kind of like it was hard to find. The building itself was just kind of that warehouse look. All the suites there kind of had the same warehouse look.
And you said
I've not seen their location, but I think it's on South St. Mary Street, it's downtown adjacent. So I'm imagining something with more character.
Yeah, that sounds nice. That sounds like a step up for them. Good on that. We took in 2020's The Day of the Lord. And
unfortunately.
The full Spanish title of this movie is Menendez, Parte Uno, El Día del Señor.
There's more?
You didn't see that it's technically supposed to be like the first of whatever? I don't think there's more as of today, but potentially more on the horizon. Did you see that there's a post-credit scene?
Yeah, I did see that.
Okay.
I don't know. I have an idea what it means, but I did see it.
Okay. Yes. So Parte Uno, El Día del Señor. It's a Mexican-Spanish horror film that, believe it or not, Veronica, gets a horror comedy ranking in certain spaces online. When I
Comedy?
Googled it and it was
comedy.
like horror comedy, I was like, where's the freaking comedy? Are you
I
kidding me?
know.
It's directed by Santiago Alvarado Iari, if I'm saying that right. And it stars Juli Fabregas, Jimena Romo, Hector Llanes as Sebas, and Dolores Heredia as Marisa. And then for what it's worth, Oscar Gordillo plays El Demonio. Straight off of Netflix, here's a little bit about the movie. A retired priest, haunted by his sins, is pulled back into the darkness when a friend begs him to help his possessed daughter. It has a runtime of about an hour and a half, hour, 33 minutes or so. And just to let you guys know, there are spoilers ahead. So if you haven't, there's always spoilers in our episodes, but if you haven't watched this yet, we're letting you know right now. And before I even ask you, I'm just letting Ronnie and listeners know, I poured myself a glass of wine so that we could talk about Menendez, the demon hunter. So Ron, what initial impressions on the Day of the Lord?
Well, I have to confess, at a certain point in this movie, and you probably know which point, I turned it off. I stopped watching. And then I went online and read how it ended, and then I kind of jumped to the end. I jumped over that horrific part and went to the end and
I kind of would have expected you to either turn it off or like just fast forward past that part.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. We'll get through that. Yeah, so this movie was rough, and aside from that particular moment, which we'll lightly touch on and then forget we ever knew, there's certainly
my brain.
There's certainly like what it feels like is torture porn, right? It just it
Which
feels
is not my thing.
It's not our thing. We've said that before. Like if you like Saw, if you like Hostel, you would probably enjoy this movie.
The last 30 minutes of this movie are going to be your jam.
It's rough. It's really hard. Those kind of movies just right off the gate are going to be difficult for Ronnie and I to get through. And then you tack on the grossness towards the end and you're like, no, I'm done. My eyes need to be burned out of my head. I don't know. I felt like the concept was a little bit kind of middle-aged priest meets John Wick style violence, and it was kind of that mashup of genre, I guess. I don't know that I'm saying, in my opinion, I don't think it worked in this movie. And we'll dive into it, I'm sure. But I definitely have thoughts to share as to why I don't think that works in this particular movie. But positives, a lot of the feedback that we saw online for this movie, a lot of people praise Jimena Romo's performance.
I'm assuming she plays the daughter?
Yeah, she's the daughter.
Okay.
So just standout marks for her performance. The range of it, I suppose. What are your thoughts on that?
I would agree. I mean, acting-wise, I thought everybody was pretty solid in the movie. The pacing, I think, follows, I don't want to say formula, but the standard flow for a lot of these Latin American movies is like it has a slow build up, and then the last 20 to 30 minutes is like bam, 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 bam. That's when all the stuff happens.
Yeah, because it's the other thing is like this was another movie where it's just like we're like at the halfway mark, and I'm like, what is happening in this movie? I'm like, it's not scary. There's not jump scares. It's just kind of creepy and weird. Where's it going?
Yeah, it is kind of creepy. And the whole time, because I didn't know, like you don't know, or at least I didn't know, is this daughter even really possessed?
Yes.
Is this just things that the dad has like overblown and things that the priest is like just crazy? Is he just crazy? And
right.
Really up until that last 30 minutes in that movie where I guess the dad breaks down and frees her, and it's revealed that she really is possessed. Up until that point I was like, man, these dudes are just nuts, and this poor girl is going through all this for nothing because he didn't know.
We're just watching a psycho kind of just torture this poor child, and who is a child. Like she's a teenage daughter. Yeah. One thing that kind of stood out to me, aside from her performance, which I agree was great, stellar residence. I
was gonna say, like, I even wrote it down, like, what? How does this former priest I'm assuming at the beginning he's being released from prison,
right? Disgraced priest.
How does he have this big old house?
How does he have this house? Like it's referred in stuff we read online. It's referred to as an apartment. I'm like, that's a hella big apartment. That's a house. It has a basement.
That was not an apartment. It was a big old ass house.
Yeah. It's really beautiful. It's just beautiful arched doorways and rich, dark, very dark academia aesthetic, which I'm into. And so really, really beautiful. But I'm just like, multiple times when I was watching it, I was just like, how does he afford it on a priest's salary? A disgraced priest? Like,
well, I don't even think he's still working as a priest, is he? It's not really ever made clear, but you would think.
He's just become a recluse. He's become a drunkard. Like, he's just, wakes up in the morning and immediately takes a swig of a bottle. So just he
has issues. Because apparently he went to prison for an exorcism, like, I don't know how many years back, that went wrong. And the little boy that he was freeing from a demon reportedly died during that exorcism.
Yes, tragic.
Even though the
death.
mother doesn't seem to hold him
accountable for that. Yeah.
It's very weird. The whole movie's just
it's weird.
Like, the relationships in it are odd.
Well, and like also like we said at the beginning, this is technically, I guess, part one of whatever is coming, and maybe based on how this performed, it's no longer coming. But I felt like we got jumped into a story where I don't know what happened with him and her son. I feel like that would be informative for, I guess, deepening the plot, but there's just no time because
and I think the only thing that we are confirmed, because like the whole time you're not really sure until the very end or close to the very end that the daughter is actually possessed. The whole movie, then you're always thinking, well, like, was the little boy that died in the past, was he possessed, or did he actually kill him? If these are his methods, I think now we know that he was possessed as well, because it's the same entity.
Yeah, I mean, you captured it well. A botched exorcism that resulted in the little boy dying, and so suffice it to say, as we go through the movie, and we get exposed to this man's methods, we make that reasoned assumption that this little boy's ending must have been equally horrendous. I don't know. That was definitely on my mind as we get to that latter final act of the movie. I'm just like watching him do what he does to her, and I'm just like, oh my God, and you did this to a small child.
Yeah, because the little boy was like, what, 10 maybe?
He was a little boy.
Maybe even younger.
Okay, so just to sort of set you guys up. So the big plot point that kind of drives the rest of the movie forward is that his old friend Sabas shows up on his doorstep, troubled, and he's a father seeking help for his teenage daughter who he believes is possessed, and so he knows that Menendez does this and presumably knows his methods too. But and Menendez even warns him, like, you don't want any part of this. I don't do that anymore. Da 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 da. But the man is desperate. It goes on from there. The priest Menendez agrees to take on the case. So,
but one of the things that the dad relates to Menendez, the priest, as evidence that she is possessed is that she apparently kills her pet cat. But then, because as it goes on and we're not really clear, is she really possessed or is Menendez just kind of cuckoo? I'm thinking, well, maybe, she's just not possessed. Maybe she's just demonstrating symptoms of being a psychopath or a sociopath. Maybe she killed her cat because, maybe she's a future serial killer. I don't know.
We don't know.
Not necessarily possessed, but
right. And so, as Ronnie's kind of already alluded to, when she shows up, what kind of threw me a little bit, and maybe threw you too, Ronnie, was just that when we're introduced to her and we're able to watch her slowly move through the house, the possession is not immediately obvious. And that's kind of part of the design of this story, is like, is she, isn't she?
Guessing,
she's not,
like wondering, yeah.
She's not presenting as what we think of as possessed in possession films as we've known them to be. You're just wondering, like, is she just like a bratty punk teen, or is there a demon perched inside her? We don't know.
One comedic moment that I would say was funny was when she tases herself because she's got the taser backwards. Because that's really the only funny part, potentially funny part. But when she's knocked out and she's on the sofa and he's undressing her, I was like, this is icky, and where is this going? And because you still think,
because we still don't know.
Yeah, she's still just seeming like a normal teenage girl.
And that's the thing, like the priest character in this portion of the film, he's just creepy enough that you do start to wonder, well, is it her or is it him? And like, who's the threat here? And it's hard to tell. There were little touches that I also caught that I appreciated. Like, I appreciated that as she's moving through the house, we see a cross right side up on the wall. And then when she passes by it again, it's upside down. So, I mean, seeing things like that you're kind of thinking, okay, maybe there is something here. The movie does a lot of playing with the viewer's mindset of what's going on, who can we trust?
Right. Who's the unreliable narrator in this?
Right.
Like, which point of view? Looking back on it now, knowing that she was possessed, it kind of makes sense, and it makes other scenes make sense, because I even wrote it down, like during the scene where they're having dinner at the dinner table, and I was like, this whole interaction doesn't make sense. If it was a normal teenage girl who thinks she's locked in a house with a creepy dude who she thinks has been spying on her through the walls, and who she thinks has who she knows has undressed her while she was unconscious. That whole dinner scene didn't make any sense to me, because like that's not how a normal girl would have, or a normal anybody would have responded and interacted with that person in that situation.
Yeah.
But knowing that it's a demon who's just
I think
playing.
I think he kind of won her trust back a little bit in that moment post, or she tasing herself and him and waking up realizing her clothes have been messed with, because like he sat down and revealed something about himself. Because I remember, I seem to remember that he revealed something about himself, like confided in her something, maybe something about that botched execution, or not execution, exorcism. Sorry, Freudian slip, but botched exorcism. And then I thought that there was maybe a little bit of bonding there in that moment that maybe stupidly made her think, okay, maybe he's not such a creep. Maybe he's just a bizarre dude, troubled dude. I don't know. But like, okay, so like the peephole, was that him? The eye through the peephole, was that him? Or was that even in her? Because there's elements of in the movie, there's scenes that play out that it's just like it turns out to be in her mind, or it turns out to be in his mind. And so I was just like, did that even happen, or did she just imagine that?
I don't know. I mean, it looked like his eye.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
We're never revealed that there's anybody else in that house.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. And we didn't really have a whole lot of time to dwell on it, because then right after that scene, I think, is when we caught sight of the upside down cross. And so I was just like, ooh.
I thought she chewed with her mouth open, which is just bleh.
She chewed with her mouth open. Maybe that was a deliberate choice. Yeah, maybe that was a deliberate choice, because later on we find out exactly what it was that she was eating.
Oh, yeah.
Decayed,
and then when he's revealing to Sebas that, because Sebas gets to the house because he has to help the priest in the final stages of this exorcism, he's like complaining that the smell in the house is enough to make him want to vomit, and Sebas is like, well, yes, the house stinks, but she's never noticed, so that's the first sign that she's possessed, and the second sign is I served her rotted meat and she ate it and no reaction. So, and then I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, she is possessed, but then I was back to, well, is she possessed? I don't know. I was just like back and forth and back and forth.
I briefly, for a second, because I remember that moment where the father comes in and makes that comment about the smell. And I briefly, very briefly for a second, knowing what I know on all the possession films I've ever seen, knowing that it's the demons that are repelled by religious symbol, and they're repelled by just any semblance of God in a space. So I was thinking he's the demon because he's immediately repelled the second he walks into this house. But no. Anyway, I thought her sexy dance was honestly a little meh. I was not impressed.
I fast forward. I kept hitting my Netflix, you can like go 10 seconds forward. I just kept jumping 10 seconds ahead. And I was like, I'm not watching.
Like she started dancing for him and I was just like, what are we doing? Like, just stop. Like, it was not that great. By about halfway through this movie, post dance, I think this is the part right around the time where he headbutts her and knocks her out. This is where I started to get annoyed, because I was thinking, I now find this plot device of deliberately confusing the viewer to be getting tedious. And I was starting to get a little impatient. I felt like they had drawn this out long enough. Let's get on with it. Let's get to it. And it turns out to be that he's a torturous priest. At what point did you, like, I guess, like, how far did you watch before you shut it down? Did you watch the initial, when he's rolling out his tools and getting ready? We're starting to see.
I watched that part. It was the part where she's tied them both up and she starts to basically.
Well, we'll get to that. So yes,
scene with her father.
Yes, the guy's method, basically, for anyone who hasn't seen the movie, is to, and then again, this is like this John Wick-esque thing, but the guy's method is to torture the innocent person afflicted by demons to try to drive the demon out of the body. And this is kind of where I mean, the problem for me with this, Ron, is that based off of what you and I know about possession films in general, possessions as they've been portrayed in film, generally, the afflicted are already being put through torture and mistreatment by the demons within them anyway. So it's like, why would we, what is the point of piling on to that? And I understand in this movie, in this particular story, the pain that he inflicts is somehow also felt by the demon. And so the idea is you torture the demon until the demon leaves. But I don't really buy that. Meanwhile, she's also still feeling the pain. So it's just like, as a priest, I can't reconcile torturing somebody who's possessed beyond what they're already, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't actually know, like, just from a scientific point of view and what we know of how, I don't want to say symbiotic, that's not the right word, but parasitic relationships work in nature is like, it's not in the invading organism, for lack of a better words, best interest to tear down the host, because then you don't have a host. So I don't know that it would make sense the way possession films have shown the possessed person being already tortured or injured in any way by because it would make more sense for the demon to just kind of be piloting around in this, but keeping the host whole, like physically whole.
That's interesting. It is interesting. You raise an interesting point, because like when I look at films like The Exorcism of Emily Rose is a great example. The toll that it takes on her body, in my view, is torturous, right? But you're right. You're right. Like if the goal is to maintain a corporeal form and do your evil deeds, then I would think you wouldn't want to put your human form through such hell. Unless your goal is just to torture. And so it's like, let me get into this body and torture them because it's fun, because I'm a demon. I don't know. But yeah, that was what was at odds for me with this approach. It was just like, why are we adding to the misery of this poor girl? Veronica's killing gnats over there.
I got it. That cheeky gnat.
That aside, I know we said torture porn and everything. Like if this had been I tell you what, let's save that question. That'll be a question for the end. When he first hits her, and I couldn't remember if it was when he first shocks her or when he first hits her with like the brass knuckles. The dude puts on brass knuckles and socks her in the face. I was just like, oh my God.
But yeah, I didn't fast forward it, but I was kind of looking away.
Oh yeah, I was
looking
just
at
like
my phone.
I was like covering my eyes. I was like, oh my God. When he first hits her and he says something, and I'm paraphrasing, but he says something to the effect of like basically telling the demon, I'm going to keep doing this until you give up and leave her body. I mean, I don't know what the way is out of this, but if it's just telling this crazy asshole, yeah, you did it, I'm healed, the devil's gone, I say go for it. I say try it. I would have maybe said that right away and been like, okay, you did it, I'm healed. Let me go, please. Because he was like, I'm going to keep doing this as long as it takes. My go-to would have been like, well, look, you did it. One hit and it's gone.
I don't think he would have been fooled, because I think in actuality, Menendez is pretty good at what he does in terms of being able to spot it. So I don't know that it would have worked, but yeah,
he would have been fooled.
Would have been worth at least an effort.
At least try, like you're strapped to a chair being tortured. At least try. We don't necessarily need to go through like each individual thing he does to her. But again, it is like, if you're into Saw, if you're into Hostel and movies like that, this is probably right up your alley. This is not up my alley. This is not up Ronnie's alley. So I didn't need to see some of the tools come out. The tools coming out is anxiety inducing enough for me. And then to watch him use them.
I even missed that he put on brass knuckles. That must have been one of my look away moments.
No, when he pulled out the tools that he uses on her nails, like I thought he was going to take a finger, and I was like, no. I couldn't do it, Ron. I have no stomach for this stuff. I could never survive. I'd be like, just kill me. Just kill me. Okay, so in the final 30 minutes of the movie, we do get confirmation that she is in fact possessed. And what did you think of that reveal? And did that give you a sense of relief at all? Because it kind of gave me some relief, because I was like, otherwise you're just a psycho.
Yeah, I was shocked, because I thought the whole movie was going to be that there was nothing ever wrong, and that it was going to be revealed
just a psycho.
It was going to be revealed that Menendez was, because at the beginning of the movie we see him, he's being escorted. I thought he was on his way to prison. Was it? I don't know. Or were they escorting him home?
So you thought he was on his way to the prison, and then this was all like, here's how he got there, that kind of thing?
Well, no. I knew it was after prison, but he's locked up in the back of a police car, and there's like at least 2 or more heavily armed police people escorting him. So I thought the reveal of the movie, or the end conclusion, was going to be that he really is just a murderous priest. So I was surprised. Yeah, a little relieved. Oh my God, okay. Yes, they're still beating up on the physical body of this poor girl, but at least it's not for no reason.
At least it's not because you're a psycho who enjoys this crap.
Yeah.
Although I get the sense that we are supposed to kind of believe that and this is the part of Menendez that is twisted, that he does delight in torturing the devil. So it's not that he wants to torture this girl, but the demon inside, he gets excited on torturing that demon. Again, it's just a messed up movie. Yeah. So then the movie takes a completely unnecessary turn.
Yes, could have left that little bit out of this movie and
just a shock for shock's value's sake. Piece of crap plot. Completely unnecessary. Unnecessary scene that, like, I already wasn't in the camp of like, this is going to be a movie that I rewatch. But with this scene, like, I don't ever want to think about it again. Yeah. I don't ever want to think about it again. And for those of you who, we're not going to go into it, but what we're talking about, guys, is the possessed daughter and what this demon does with her body to her own father. We're going to leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
something that should never happen.
It should never happen. So, like, there's no reason for it in the plot. It doesn't service the plot. It's deeply disturbing. They don't technically, like, some of the reviews are pointing out this as well. Everything we read online, nobody likes this. Everybody hates this.
Who would?
So, and they point out, like, technically they don't show you anything, but it's enough to know what's being portrayed. It's disturbing. And so it's just like, who is this for? Who are you doing this for? Like, nobody wants this. Take this out of the movie. It's like if the point is to show that the devil is depraved, babe, we get it. We know the devil is depraved. Like, you don't have to prove it. This is messed up.
I'm wondering if in the end that hurt its chances for there ever being additional parts. Because that's why when you said Menendez Part 1, I was like, oh my God, there's going to be more. Like, I can only imagine. Because, in generally speaking, at least in American films, sequels, they're always like trying to up the ante. And I was like, oh my God, what could possibly more could they do?
Right. It's just like
more horrific than that.
I don't want to see anymore. I've seen enough. Like, what's that Justin Bieber? Like, no, immediately no. I'm telling you right now, I have seen what I needed to see.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a meme. It's a meme on I don't know, online. But I wrote, and all on the day of the Lord. Like, come on.
Yeah, and immediately when that started to.
And I don't know if that was supposed to be like dark humor, but it's like, that's not funny. That's not funny. That's just sick.
Not at all.
So after you recover from that momentary blackout watching that scene, we do reach the end of the film. Menendez does draw the beast out of her. She somehow manages to survive this beatdown. The father collects his daughter and they go upstairs out of the basement. I did think that the demon reveal at the end. So did you happen to go back and just look at those final scenes? The demon reveal, his true form.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of cool. Like, that was unexpected. I wasn't expecting that. And I thought that was kind of neat.
It wasn't as demony as I thought.
Yeah, he just looked more like a big giant troll.
Yeah, like it didn't really look demony. I don't know. I was picturing something different.
And honestly, so like that reveal, that might have been the most enjoyable part of the last 15 minutes might have been the most enjoyable part of the movie for me. I'm like, everything else is traumatic, but the ending was uncomfortable, but the ending was solid. And then, so like the post-credit scene is.
Well, wait, back up.
You tell me.
The phone calls.
Yes. So tell people about the phone calls. Well, okay, so wait, let's back it up even further. So when he came up from the stairs after he supposedly, quote unquote, defeated the demon, there was a split second where I thought, because he looks so deranged, I thought, oh my God, the demon is in him now. And maybe he's telling his friend and his daughter, go, get out of here. The cops are on their way. They're going to come and take me away again, which is what I want because I have a demon in me. That was what I was thinking. Turns out that's not the case. But yeah, go from there.
Well, I knew that because when I had dipped out of the movie and I had read the ending, I knew that he wasn't. So, but I was thinking, okay, but dang, there's another gnat in here. What the hell?
Do you have a plant in there? Sometimes plants bring the gnats.
No, I don't have plants. I can't keep plants alive. You know this.
Meanwhile, I have like a bunch of plants in my house. Anyway, go on.
What was I saying? Oh, I thought Sebas was going to knife him. And
well, yeah, because you don't know. You can't trust it. You don't know. He looks crazy.
What was your question? What did you ask me?
Well, like walk people through what happens. Like when
so throughout the movie, he keeps getting his phone rings, and he goes and he picks it up. We never hear a voice. We only hear Menendez's half of the conversation, and he's always talking about how, I know you're checking up on me. I've stopped drinking. And then later he tells him, no, I lied to you. I'm still drinking, and just leave me alone. And he's kind of back and forth, like, thank you for watching over me, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, after Sebas and his daughter have left for the hospital, which, by the way, what's the story he's going to tell the doctors about what happened to his daughter? The phone rings, and then this answers it. And he's like, thank you. It was a success. I sent that demon off, blah, blah, blah. And thank you for watching out for me. And then the camera pans down the cord, and we realize that it's a disconnected phone. So it's a non-working phone, but yet
it was ringing. Yeah.
What is that, Valerie?
What is that? I don't is that his direct line with God? I don't freaking know. But like man's on the brink of death, and that's the end. And then the post-credit scene is he's sitting in that chair with the disconnected phone, post-call, what looks to be it's something in the shape of like a Virgin Mary, because of the way that it's holding its arms out, starts moving toward him, floating towards him, like a life-size version of that. Imagine that, if you will. I thought it was
a nun, but I don't know.
Well,
Virgin Mary maybe makes more sense.
Whatever, a woman, what looked to be a woman with some sort of shroud on her head. And so she's holding her arms out and floating towards him in a very statuesque way. And then her face just goes demon crazy. And that's the end. So I don't know what's to come. I don't know what's happening. And
yeah, you don't even know what happens to Menendez. Does he die? Does he end up dying from his injuries? Do the police come and cart him away and he's back in prison? What is this floating whatever she is?
Yeah.
Like, does she kill him? Like, what?
I mean, I have to admit, because I wasn't expecting post-credit scenes. And so when that showed, I was like, oh, I was in no way invested in this movie. And I think I'm still not. But when that post-credit scene showed, I was like, well, damn it, kind of want to know what that's about. But I don't think I want to know enough to watch.
Not enough to watch. Or if a part 2 ever did come out, I'd have to like heavily screen it beforehand to know, okay, is there going to be any more of that icky stuff in there?
I would hope that the feedback they received from this is like, don't do that.
Necessary.
Nobody, I can't even imagine, like the people who that would be for, we don't want them. We don't want to be making entertainment for them.
We don't want them.
No, thank you. All right. Well, Ron, light switch scale, what would you give this one?
I mean, it wasn't scary. It was
not scary.
It was just
It's just
icky. Disturbing.
Very icky and disturbing. And again, that scene aside, let's pretend that scene is not in this movie.
Yes, please.
Then all you've got is like the pretty graphic violence. And so it's like, for us, that's not going to be our cup of tea. But if that's your cup of tea, you might enjoy that. And then just like, I'm serious, just black out for that scene that you got to get through. The other thing is like, it goes on a beat too long. You're like, oh my God, please just end it right now. I fully expected, I was like, Veronica will have either shut this off or she will have fast forwarded past that scene. In retrospect, I should have done that too.
What happened was I watched like the first, I think it was an hour and a half long. So I watched the first hour, maybe just a little bit over the first hour Saturday night. And then it was getting late and I had to get up at 7 in the morning to go teach this morning. So I left the last 30 minutes for today. Well,
so you hadn't gotten to that part?
I hadn't gotten to that part yet.
Okay.
Sebas had just gotten to the house and like a little bit before then. So I don't even think they had gone downstairs yet. They were just still talking upstairs, him and Menendez. So I left the last 30 minutes for today. And when I got back from teaching and got ready, and Robert and I went to have lunch, and I'm reading your text about, what did you say? You said that you basically didn't enjoy this movie at all. And I'm thinking well, crap. I gotta go watch it.
Ronnie and I never really give away. We don't usually preview what our feelings are going to be about anything that we watch or read.
We save it for the show.
We save it for the show. But I just flat out told her, I was like, I did not enjoy this movie.
Yeah, he said, did not enjoy that movie, by the way. And I was like, oh crap, now I gotta go watch it.
Which, by the way, like, okay, so that scene where Sebas has to go down and participate in the ritual and witness his daughter be brutally beat. Like, I'm sorry. And I know this was prior to us knowing for sure whether or not she's even possessed. I think even if my son was possessed, I don't think there's any way in hell I could do that. I don't know, man. That was rough. I was just like, this is messed up.
Well, and it just makes you wonder, did Marisa do that too with her younger son?
Little boy? Like,
with her even younger son?
I'm looking up real quick. I don't know that there's a sequel in the works to this movie.
When did it come out again?
2020.
2012. That's like already 5 years ago.
So, I mean, things might have been delayed because of COVID, but I also just
True.
wonder if like it just wasn't received well. And this was a Netflix release, by the way. Like this was like, there is no part 2 of, this is what Google says, no part 2 of the Day of the Lord movie on Netflix, as the film was a single 2020 release. So maybe they had goals and it just fell apart. The film was not a 2-part series and a sequel has not been made. Oof! What the hell was that, Veronica?
I'm trying to listen another gnat.
One of the reviews we looked at kind of talked about likening the Menendez, the actor. They were saying that he looks a lot like Mel Gibson.
He was reminding me of somebody in certain like instances, but like an older puffy faced Mel Gibson, I can see that.
So you probably might recognize him because you saw Rec 2. He's in Rec 2. I didn't see Rec 2.
Maybe he played the priest in that one too. I'd have to go back and look at the cast characters. I don't remember exactly.
But to get back to it, you can watch this one fully in the dark. It's not like there's not jump scares. It's not scary. It's just disturbing. For me, there's no rewatchability here. I don't want to watch it again. If a sequel does ever get made, I might read some stuff about it online, but I wouldn't necessarily be rushing to watch it just because I don't know what kind of humor this particular director finds funny. I guess when she goes possessed and she fully, like, that facet of her performance kicks into gear, there was a certain element of that felt a little bit more lighthearted. There was a little bit of brevity, or not brevity, levity. There's a little bit of levity there, which was nice. I mean, it was refreshing coming off of the torture porn we just witnessed. So, I mean, it felt lighter until they did that scene, because I always enjoy a possessed performance. And so I was enjoying her possessed performance.
So do you think she tased herself because the demon doesn't know how to hold the right way of it?
I would think so. Probably, right?
The demon doesn't know the right end of a taser from the other end.
Because she is supposed to be a teenage girl. I don't know how young. You know, they have her in pigtails, and so I don't know how young she's supposed to be, but...
Well, she's a teenager. I would say at least 15, if not a little older.
I would think, like, yeah, you should know how to hold a taser.
Yeah, so I'm going to chalk that up to the demon. To the demon,
yeah. And the open mouth chewing, I'm going to chalk that up to the demon as well. All right, well, I guess that's the wrap on Day of the Lord.
Thank God.
Amen. I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking to you guys about our Patreon. If you are not a member of our Patreon, it is free to join. And honestly, we offer as many perks as we can. And so for that reason, there's a lot of perks that are just open to all. But there's one tier, it's a $3 tier. And in supporting the show through the $3 tier, you get access to everything. And so we'll link that for you guys in our show notes. But please come and join our Patreon community. We do creepy cocktail hours. We do video episodes. When we do live shows and things of that nature, virtual live shows, you get first access to that. The other thing we occasionally do is bonus film commentary episodes. There may be some stuff like that coming up in the next month, being October, being spooky month. I had asked Veronica, I was like, hey, for October, is there any kind of theme for like extra stuff, extra bonus stuff we want to do? I don't know that you necessarily had it, and I didn't have one either. I didn't have a theme idea either. The best I could think of is like if you and I were to do film commentary episodes on a film that each of us knows so well, just knows in and out, forwards and backwards, that we could talk about just easily in a film commentary. So like for me, it might be Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow. I could talk about that movie all day. For you, it might be like Halloween, or it might be something else that you just know really well and can just have it on in the background and not even necessarily be watching it because that's how well you know it. You can just talk about it. I don't know. It's something to think about. And if we're able to set it up so that you can go in and record that on your own, although I'm happy to do it with you. You need to let me know when you can do it.
It would be more fun to do it together.
It would definitely be more fun.
And then I'm not just talking to myself, which would feel weird.
That's all I do when I do film commentary. I'm just talking in a microphone, watching a movie. The other thing that I would love to do with our Patreon crew is watch parties. So that might be a situation where you and I set a date where we're going to do that. Say we're going to do a film commentary, but it's not a film commentary. It's a watch party. And we invite everybody to come along and join it. And it's a live session and they watch along with us. That could be cool too. It's really nice to be able to have a Patreon community that we can talk these things through with. So you guys join us, be part of it, and help us grow it together. That's it. Like I was going to maybe talk about news stuff, but then, a whole week has passed and there's things that are going on in the news, things that are going on with like the removal of Jimmy Kimmel, for instance, from late night. Veronica's just destroying Nats over there. Or she's stomping out fascism with her bare hands. There's a really great 2-parter piece that Vanity Fair has put up, honestly, just talking about the status of late night in general, even prior to all of this crap with Jimmy Kimmel. The problems with late night in particular, and how that has been a suffering industry for a while now. And I don't know necessarily that it's anybody's fault except stupid TV executives. So the stupid network executives. We'll link that for you guys as well and leave that for you to read. But the other thing to let you make sure you know about
book club.
Veronica, because honestly, I need to start the book too, and you need to start the book too. We do have a book club.
I don't even remember. Robert was asking me like what book, and I said, I don't know. It's got Dick in the title. That's all I can remember. It's got Dick in the title.
Veronica, on the day of the Lord. We're recording on a Sunday. It is the day of the Lord.
Yes, it is the day of the Lord.
If you go to don'twatchatnight.com, friends, and you look at our book club page, we are reading Suburban Dicks by Fabian Nicieza. We have a book club episode coming up at the end of October. It'll be our end of October episode. Read it with us. It's supposed to be lighter. We chose it because it's supposed to be a little bit lighter, a little bit more murder mystery. Fabian Nicieza is a well-known Marvel comic book industry writers. So this could be an entertaining read. It could also not be. We don't know. But we just wanted to take a break from some of the other books we've covered. I'm trying to think like if I've taken in anything. Nothing of the spooky variety. We are starting to watch our spooky movies. So
have you started your Halloween decorations? I know you bought a mannequin.
A little bit. So Veronica knows. Okay, so by the way, thank you so much. So last episode, guys, I was talking about the guy that was my inspiration for my Halloween display this year. And I didn't have his name at the time, and I do now, the guy from California. He is Señor Scary. And if you go to señorscary.com, you're going to learn all about him. He's from California. He's the one who does the really educational yard displays that incorporate Latine culture. So Chupacabra, La Llorona, Santa Muerte. Yeah, just totally inspired by this guy. And I have a werewolf head that I've had for years that I'm going to warp into a Chupacabra head. And then I went and bought a costume to go with, because all I've ever had was the head, but I went and got the costume. And then I went and purchased a freaking mannequin. And I assembled the mannequin in my living room. It's a legit mannequin, taller than my husband. And
what did Alex say?
I mean, he's a little bit distraught with the mannequin's fit. And so Alex is like, I don't really appreciate this. And he holds up the torso next to his torso. And he's like, I don't really appreciate this. It's a full-size mannequin. If I were to open up a department store, that mannequin would be legit in my department store. So now I have one. Where I'm going to store it, I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to like just keep it up. So pre-pandemic, there was a wonderful restaurant here in Austin called The Russian House, owned by a Russian family. They serve traditional Russian food and beverages, and it's just really cool because it was downtown, and you go into this space and they had it all just decorated with culturally relevant things. And so it just felt like you were stepping into a time, what's the word I'm looking for? Time jump?
Time machine?
A time machine. Yeah. You felt transported, and the food was great. And then in the wake of like everything that happened has been going on with Ukraine, what was so nice to see is that this Russian establishment came out in support of Ukraine. They were very vocal about their support of Ukraine. In fact, they even changed the name of their establishment from the Russian House to just the House, which I thought was really powerful. But then the pandemic happened, and I think they just never really bounced back from that. And so they had to shut their doors, which was very sad. But I do remember, long story short.
Too late.
I do remember when you walked in, they had a huge ass bear, like a standing up bear, stuffed bear in their entryway. And I always thought it was so cool. And so when they shut down, they put a lot of their stuff on sale, their memorabilia and their decor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God. And I didn't find out till it was too late, because had I known, I would have gone to buy the bear.
Oh.
But now I have a werewolf is what I'm saying. And so I should just keep it up all year. Swear to God, it's like ADD. I'm sorry. It was just stream of consciousness.
Why did we need that story?
Because I was building up I was building to something. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, this has gone on long enough. I'll let you guys go. Thank you guys.
Dicks, here I come.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Watch Day of Our Lord at your own risk.
No, we watched it so you don't have to.
There you go. And that's it. We will see you next time.
Bye. Don't Watch at Night is a Nest production hosted by me, Veronica, and Valerie. Editing by Valerie. Music by Omar Chakor. Production support for this episode provided by Lorenzo Villarreal and Alex Street. Listen to new episodes of Don't Watch at Night every other Monday, and don't forget to give us a rate and review. It's the best way to help us grow.